see straight through your armor. Oh! All right, that's it. Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family.
What up, guys? Welcome back to Autism Unedited. Today we got something special for y'all. We're gonna be doing Sekiro from Shadows Die Twice versus Sun Wukong, or his fanboy that you play as in the game Black Myth Wukong. We really just wanted to go over both of the characters, see how they do against each other. After doing our own research, well, it'll be quite interesting. For y'all that know the characters, I'm sure y'all already know how this video is gonna end, but we're gonna go over it.
Yeah, I think
Dom
it'll be
here with me as usual. There he is, cutting it on me right now. Go ahead and say hi, Dom.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty good. What's going on, guys? I'm pretty excited. Doing research on this video, I was disgusted at how strong both of these characters are, so I think it'll be pretty fun.
It will be fun, but we both know this is heavily skewed in one character's favor.
I wonder whose.
Alright, that was cringe.
I was trying to play it off like a Disney Channel show.
So we got the Chinese fanboy versus the Japanese fanboy. I love Sekiro. I didn't play Wukong, but I do know it's got really interesting lore and shit behind it. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with Sekiro, and Dom will be handling Wukong. Alright, boys. Sekiro, the main protag from Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice, obviously the strongest Dark Souls protag. For y'all that don't know Sekiro, he is the shinobi protector for the Lord over Ashina, Lord Kuro. He was originally a orphan that his father Owl, another shinobi, found him in the Battle of Ashina, where Ishin, the general who took back their land, Owl found him after that battle. And he was so loyal to Kuro, he sacrificed his life to save him. And when he did this, Lord Kuro has something called the Dragon Blood. It makes you immortal, but it's not like regular immortality. It's very weird. You don't just not die. You die over and over, like Dark Souls. Very varying character, but you just come back. And it does that by first stealing energy from your blood, causing it to stagnate. And then when your own blood runs out of that energy, you start siphoning energy from other people's blood. When you do this, they get inflicted with a fatal, uncurable disease called dragon rot. Now, it's pretty notable that the dragon's blood's immortality, it doesn't heal dismemberment. Like in the beginning of the game, when you fight Genichiro, he cuts your arm off, you get the prosthetic, yada yada. He is not able to get his arm back after this. But at the same time, he can't die of old age. So it's really weird, complex form of immortality.
Can I butt in real quick? Isn't it possible that his arm is still alive somewhere, like moving independently on itself?
Why you gotta be weird?
Someone said in the Sekiro scaling video that if his head were to be cut off, it's possible he could carry it around still. And I think there's actually an enemy in game that does this, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, the Guardian Ape. But character's kind of weird because it's almost like the centipede inside of him is just controlling the body. It's not like the ape is actually alive, but it's also weird because the ape does ape things. So I don't know. Is that all you had to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick, that's all.
Awesome, very interesting. Thank you, Dom, as always. Alright, so Sekiro's unlike the other Dark Souls protags, where he doesn't have a whole lot of just base stats. He does have some pretty impressive stat feats, but a lot of his power comes from his versatility with all of his tools. I have a list of all of his tools here. Unfortunately for y'all, I am going to go over all of them, and there's quite a lot, so sit tight. So obviously he has the shinobi prosthetic that replaces his arm that got cut off. That shit has... I don't have a number here, but it is a lot of shit. He has the grappling hook, which he can use to hit pinpoint locations and grapple off of them. These are really tiny. He can do this while he's flying in midair. He can grapple off of enemies. Just like really weird, obscure shit that like you wouldn't notice. He could probably grab onto it, and he's able to like fling his entire body into this point, which is one of those strength feats or his own physical feats that I was talking about. It's nothing crazy, but it is impressive that he's able to just fling himself around like midair like that. He has his shuriken, he has firecrackers, which with later level ups they can like decrease durability. He has his axe, which can like smash through armor and shields and shit. He can later imbue the axe with like flame. The Lazulite version, the final upgrade, when you hit something with the axe, it can like dispel illusions. He has a spear, which obviously spear stabs shit, but it can also like remove armor. He has the Sabimaru attachment to it, which has a poison that was able to kill the it wasn't the Okami, but it was one of the ones that live underground. It's a very serious poison. I'll go over it a little bit more later, but the Sabimaru can also pierce any form of guard. While I'm talking about the weapons and the upgrades and stuff, like everything gets upgraded with something called adamantite. Y'all who like Wolverine or watch that video, you know what that is. It's not the exact same thing, but it's very similar. So adamantite, or the lapis lazuli, the meteorite fragments, anything upgraded with that stuff will never break or rust. Everything he has and that I've yet to name just cannot be broken. It's got like infinite durability or some crazy shit like that. He has a divine fan, which summons like god wind that can like turn enemies around by BFRing them to another dimension and then bringing them back, and he can like get a stealth death blow on them. You can just one-shot people. You could also spirit the enemies away, which is the BFR that I was talking about. If he does this more than twice, they'll never return. He can imbue his sword with this wind too, and he can like shoot it out at shit. He has a literal flame cannon that he can put in the prosthetic, similar to Guts. This can later be turned into a flamethrower. You can also imbue the sword with the fire. The final upgrade for that, the Lazulite flame cannon, shoots divine flame, similar to the divine confetti, which also breaks guard, and it has properties that it can cleanse hatred and destroy souls. The flames are said to be inhabited by one of the cardinal gods. He has the whistle, the malcontent whistle, who anybody who hears it will go insane. He can slash the sound that this whistle makes with his sword and also make that a long distance attack like the wind fan. It also works on people who can't hear, which is pretty interesting. He has the Mist Raven, which is like the actually, I don't know if we have anything similar to that in the other games, but it allows him to teleport from any direction when he's damaged. There are upgrades for the Mist Raven where he can explode after that. He could also use it to redirect lightning. His last one is the Loaded Umbrella, one of the more interesting ones if you ask me. It's outright indestructible, not including like the adamantite and the lapis. It can absorb any sort of projectiles and energy, and you can shoot the energy back at the enemy to do increased damage. It can absorb divine, magic, and spirit attacks, which also empower the umbrella. It pierces guard, it can negate grab attacks, and it's said that Suzuku, the Vermilion Bird, another cardinal god, lives inside that umbrella. And everything I just mentioned is just a tool for his prosthetic. That doesn't include his actual sword, Kusabimaru, which also doesn't bend, break, or chip. Everything he has just doesn't fucking break. So that's most of his arsenal. Now, I said that he doesn't have a whole lot of impressive physical feats. With that being said, some of his better feats are early on in the game, before he gets super strong. He can deflect the large bowl in the Ashina Castle, If y'all have played the game, that thing's fucking huge. The ogres, which like just solo a platoon of the Ashina soldiers by themselves. And most impressively, at this point, the Great Serpent, that big-ass white snake that you run into, you can parry that attack when it charges you in that chasm. And I watched a video on Sekiro just to get some more notes for this, and I forgot the guy's name. I think it was Damien something. He has a YouTube channel. He calced that attack for the Great Serpent to be somewhere around 143 billion joules of energy on the low end. Higher scaling for that is possibly around 1 trillion joules of energy. Some crazy shit. That I think that energy puts you somewhere around, I want to say island level. I know y'all are probably like rolling your eyes like, island level, get the fuck out of here. But yeah, that's about where he's sitting at. He also blocks shit from Guardian Ape, the demon of hatred that shoots out like actual explosions at you. And his more impressive speed feat is he can block the Shishimen Shaman's laser attacks. They are actually stated to be laser attacks like beams of light. They are light speed, and he's able to react to these, block them. I don't have any like power feats for those. I don't know how strong they are. But as a speed feat alone, it's pretty impressive. And then for his final physical feat is the Divine Dragon. Now, the Divine Dragon was really complex to get information on. The same guy, Damien, he calced the dragon's sword swings to be like massively hypersonic speeds and generating enough energy to level an island, which honestly sounds a little bit low because the Divine Dragon drove out like the Shinto gods from the Fountainhead Palace. The Divine Dragon is supposed to be like, I think they say it originated from Korea and is responsible for driving out like Shinto gods. Fountainhead Palace is equivalent to the land of the kami from Shintoism. He drove out gods such as Tsukuyomi, Susanoo, etc. If you want to scale Divine Dragon to those gods are scaled to be like universal plus. Interesting note that Fountainhead Palace is also referenced from Tokyo no Kuni, one of the realms of the gods, where gnome time passes and Sekiro is able to move there. You could also consider that a speed feat. He moves in like a timeless area. So bro obviously has a measurable speed, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's just how it works. Just like how Jotaro has immeasurable speed because he can move in Dio's time stop.
I'm sorry I asked you anything. Alright, I'll move on to his hacks. His hacks, kind of mid, in my opinion. He has like the shinobi magic where he could turn people into like mindless puppets. He could turn you into a smoke bomb. He could buff his sword with your blood. He can BFR with his divine abduction, which I stated earlier. He can kill immortals with his mortal blade. And he has several of his prosthetic tools which he's able to use to kill souls. He can also deflect sound waves, but that should be pretty expected at somebody of Sekiro's tier. Like I said, he can kill immortals, and that's due to the mortal blade. It can sever immortality. It can negate any sort of regen, and Sekiro has 2 of these. Albeit that the attack must be fatal for the mortal blade to sever immortality. He can't just like slash somebody and remove it. It has to be a fatal blow, which is kind of weird when you think about it, because if they're immortal, like nothing should be fatal to them, but you get what I mean. And if you thought his shinobi prosthetic was more than enough tools, we've got more to go over. He has his magic gourd, which can heal all of his wounds. He has the magic rice that he can find, which also heals over time. On top of his axe that dispels illusions, he has the snap seeds. He has a multitude of items to heal any sort of status, like bleed, fear, lightning, stuff like that. He has all of the sugars that he can eat. These sugars invoke spirits that are similar to the 4 heavenly kings, or Buddhist gods. They provide stuff like extra damage, extra defense, extra posture in the game. He has one that doubles his damage, but he also takes double damage. And this dude is not, he's not trying to fight fair with you. He's not a knight, he's not a samurai, he is essentially a ninja. He has absolutely no honor, and he will do anything to win if he can. I forgot to mention one of his most OP weapon skills that he can use, his Makiri counter. He can hard counter anyone that tries to stab him. Like, stab attacks just outright don't work on the guy. He uses his perception and his ninja speed to just outright blitz people who try to stab him and open them up for a death blow. And he can also do sort of the same thing to anybody who's in the air. If you're in the air, he's going to find a fatal weak point and he's going to take advantage of it. He can also inherit like the karma and the souls of those he's defeated. Obviously, as a Dark Souls pro tag, he's going to get stronger from people he kills. He's completely silent as a ninja. He can breathe underwater. He can see in the dark. He can actually heal while killing people just by breathing. And in the game, I don't know if it's intended as a gameplay mechanic, that the dude just doesn't have stamina, which is pretty weird for a Souls game where every other game has stamina. He just doesn't have it. He can just sprint, jump, do all his weapon arts and shit just without any repercussions. Speaking of weapons and weapon skills, he has many different combat skills. He has 5 different trees that the dude just learns by reading the book. He has the Ashina skills, his prosthetic skills, his shinobi skills, the Senpo monk martial arts skills, and the Mushin skills. I forgot what those ones actually are, but I think they're just like combinations of the other ones. As far as durability goes, obviously he's immortal, he tanks a lot of shit, but if you fight the headless, they'll do this little grab attack on you where they like bend you over and fist you real quick, and they rip something out of your ass. That's actually attributed to Japanese lore where the soul is held in the anus. Just pretty weird. But he can actually just get back up and keep going after that. I don't know if I'd want to keep going if that happened to me, but good for him. Like I said, with all the weapon skills, he's an incredibly quick learner. He learned all 5 of those skills like basically instantly. You find books and he just reads them and he knows all of them. If that's not crazy enough for you, the thing in the game takes over the course of 24 hours. Like, he did all of that in a day or under. I think that's everything I gotta say.
Well, I gotta say, it's surprising how strong Sekiro is. You don't really notice it while you're playing the game, but if you really take a look at the lore, and all of these feats are item descriptions, so it's not like misinterpreted feats or anything. This is just narratively where he's at, and it makes sense too, because where he's going in these places are like heavenly areas where there is no time, so he should be scaling around that area. It totally makes sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. He does have some inconsistent stuff with like people who are actually scaling, like the island and hypersonic feats that I said earlier. Like, those are massively lowballed if you're going like in a lore context where he beat Divine Dragon and that he's beating fucking Shinto gods, which are universal. He's moving in a place where no time passes. Like, so those prior feats I stated are, massively inconsistent.
Right, exactly. Well, I guess if there's nothing else you want to say, I can go over Wukong.
No, I talked enough. Go for it.
Alright, here it goes. So, first thing I really wanted to get into is his durability. I have it segmented in 4 different sections. His durability, his speed, his strength, and then his hacks. His hacks are what I have the most of. I'm going to try and keep it fast, but these are some pretty interesting feats, so it might take me a second. So, he survives the immortal burning furnace, which is meant to take immortals and burn them down into elixirs so gods can drink them and become more powerful. But this actually doesn't kill him. It actually tempers his body to become stronger. And this is a divine punishment. It's meant to like hurt immortals that are trying to go against divine order. And another divine punishment he actually goes through is he survives being sealed inside a mountain for 500 years. Buddha actually seals him inside the mountain when he challenges him. And I'll get into that more. I'm not doing this in chronological order, so that's why I'm not going to go too far into that feat yet. After being sealed for 500 years, though, he actually travels more and becomes strong enough to reach nirvana. He is now above samsara, which is the cycle of life and death itself. So he effectively cannot die because death is not even an option for him. It's just, he's above that. He is the fighting Buddha now. So that's about it for his durability. It's pretty self-explanatory how strong he is. I mean, he's also fighting lots of gods, and a lot of them are a lot stronger than just what you would think of an average god. And I'll get into that later when I get into his strength feats. I just really wanted to keep this brief, and I think a lot of the other feats will actually speak for durability and speed, so I don't have a lot of those feats. For his speed, he actually somersaults across all of existence, including, and this is an infinite universe that's already made, not one that's finite and ever expanding. And he did this all before he was able to blink, and this is actually what he was trying to do when he challenged Buddha. And Buddha's body exists outside of existence itself. He's the one that created existence, which is why he wasn't able to beat Buddha in this challenge. For another speed feat, all attacks from other gods are useless unless he's being tricked or, you know, just under a magical influence. And this is making him effectively faster than all of them, since he's always reacting to them. There's never once where he's getting hurt by these angels, these other gods. He's always reacting to these guys, and they are above light speed for sure. Some of them are in control of light itself, so, which actually leads me really well into his strength feats. He fights off an entire pantheon of 600 gods, and 48 of them were constellation gods, which are very strong gods that control cardinal directions and control how certain processes work in life, including like gravity and stuff like that. Speaking of gravity, he's able to redirect stars and planets through strength. And these stars and planets are like spirits that are controlled by celestial order. It's not necessarily the same way that our physics work. So he's overpowering the celestial order of Buddha, which is a pretty big strength feat. He's able to fight beings that do not even exist, like representations of a corrupt official, or, you know, just the idea of a bad day. Maybe Mondays as a collective, he could defeat the idea of how bad Mondays suck. That's just how strong he is, and he's above these kind of concepts like physicality and stuff. I can't really put it into words myself. I'm not smart enough. He's fought and killed the six-eared macaque, who is actually equal to him in all ways. It's pretty much him. He was indistinguishable from him, from everybody else except Buddha. So he was equal to him in all ways, and he was able to kill him. And this fight actually shook hell, which has 8 layers, I believe, earth, and heaven. So those are all his strength feats. His hacks are really what make him crazy. He has medicine that eliminates all sickness and disease, which gives him his first layer of immortality. But that wasn't enough for him. He goes on to drink celestial wine, which gives him another layer of immortality. And then he drinks the golden elixir of life, which grants him another layer of immortality. He then goes on to eat an entire garden of heavenly peaches, which each one of them giving him another layer of immortality. If you can't tell, this fight is definitely mismatched. He went to go up to the land of the dead, and he erased his life from the book of death, so that even if it is written for him to die, death cannot take him. His Ryu Jingubane is his iconic weapon that can shrink down to the size of a needle or the size of mountains, depending on what he needs in that situation. He also pairs that with his 72 transformations, letting him just transform into different objects, elements, and beings, which he can also shapeshift into his opponents. He can only be damaged if he wills it to be, or if he's tricked in some sort of way through magical or divine imprisonment. So think of illusions or stuff like that, which eventually he actually becomes immune to illusions as well. He can make copies of himself or anyone or anything 84,000 times with his 84,000 hairs. Now, some people think that he can do that over and over again, but he's never seen doing that in the books that he's in, like Journey to the West. But I guess if you take the lore implications from the game, then he could do that, because it's believed that he is a clone of him and he's able to produce clones. So it is possible that maybe, yeah, it could produce clones too. But I don't know if it would be able to infinitely copy itself. So that's about it that I have for Sun Wukong. He is extremely powerful, obviously, and there's so much more I could go over, but I didn't really think I needed to. I'm still new to him as a character, but I still think that he's super strong and worthy to look into. I want to do more scaling videos with him. I want to do more fights with him, but yeah, I guess let's get into it and see what Sekiro can do to this guy.
Yeah, I mean, you said a lot less than I did, and I think you made a more solid point just off of these feats.
Yeah, these feats are just disgusting. Now, Sekiro is a lot more subtle in his feats because it's lore implications, and Sun Wukong is very obviously doing a lot of these feats. And it's very big and bombastic, if that makes sense, versus Sekiro, who's like, it's a little bit more laid back for the gameplay. Just like Dark Souls, you have to infer a lot of the strength. It's not very up in your face about it.
Yeah, Japanese be humble, and the Chinese are like, my dude's strong.
Exactly. So I think that it is interesting that he has that immortality, or that mortal blade that cuts through immortality, right?
Yeah, I thought so. It was basically my only win con. But there's just so much that you could argue otherwise. Like, the immortal burning furnace, like, you're literally just your first feat. Like, it's meant to kill immortals. That's what the sword does. But he just tanked it, and it made him stronger.
I know.
That feat alone is enough to be like, yeah, dude, I don't know. But then he has like 70 layers of immortality on top of that, where it's like, how do you, even if he didn't remove his name from the Book of the Dead, do you just have to kill him like 70 times and that's it? Like, does each one run out? Like, does he only get one use of it, or what? Like,
well,
how do you even debate that?
I have no idea. I guess the blade itself negates immortality. The immortal burning furnace is meant to burn immortal beings. So I guess like the feats are similar, but it's a little different. I think if Sekiro were to perform a killing blow on him, which is a big if, then I could see maybe it actually taking one of, Sun Wukong's lives. But
yeah, I'm not trying to like low play Sekiro like I do with all my other characters to be humble. But I mean, if you really want to super wank Mortal Blade and be like, it just nullifies any sort of immortality, then he has a shot. But that's not going over speed and strength and his other hacks.
Yeah, it's both really hard. I mean, the issue is, once he becomes the fighting Buddha, he is the next level. I mean, he's outer versal, probably mid to high outer versal as well. So it's a disgusting thing to even try to think about how strong he is. And Sekiro is boasting like universal plus feats, but I just don't see his hacks being enough to be able to even get one life out of Sun Wukong let alone get through his multiple layers of immortality. But you could scale it that he cuts through all layers of immortality with his blade, because I'm not sure. It's just, is there anybody with more than one stack of immortality in Sekiro? Because I'm not sure that there is, but
I don't think that there is. I mean, I'd ask, like, if we split this into two versions of Wukong, before he reached Samsara and after. What do you think about before? Because like after he reaches Samsara, like he's outside of death.
right.
Like I'd be willing, be willing to entertain the idea that if he was removed from the Book of the Dead, do you consider that like another layer of immortality, or just him being outside of death in general?
I don't know. It's weird to say. I don't even. It almost seems like he did that for shits and giggles. I don't know if that even really did anything, because I don't even know if he could really die at that point anyway. Nobody had gotten to that point of killing him. And he was just doing it to kind of flex because he really wants to be as immortal as possible. So I would say that I would just say it grants him another layer of immortality. Otherwise, reaching Samsara isn't going to be a big deal, because he would have already been outside the concept of life and death itself. Does that make sense?
I think him reaching Samsara is just his way of being tiered above Buddha.
Yes. Well, equal to Buddha. I don't think he beats Buddha in any way in that situation.
Okay, my bad. I'm not familiar with all that lore.
No, it's all good. I don't know too much about it either, and I'm sure there's going to be some people who are upset with me that actually follow this stuff. But I did my best, and I think I'm showcasing that he's stronger than Sekiro, so it's not like you're going to cry that hard, right? But
Absolutely not. No, I went into this knowing exactly what was going to happen.
yeah, exactly. And I did too. It was more for fun. We really just wanted to see how strong Sekiro is and how strong Sun Wukong is. But it is funny because Sekiro would solo One Piece. He would solo the Naruto verse. He would solo, I wouldn't say Dragon Ball Z, but probably Bleach. What's your opinion on that one?
Don't make me do this.
I mean, you love both, so it's not like I'm trying to put you at a pickle here.
I mean, if you want to go with his higher tier of like speed feats, his swords kind of just like negate durability. So higher tier Dragon Ball, like if you want to put him in a measurable speed, he's probably getting up to the Tournament of Power. Bleach, I think he probably solos Bleach, to be completely fair. But
I'm not excited for the Sekiro anime because this video is going to look like garbage after that, because I bet you they're going to have him getting washed up by some loser in that. But, you know, Sekiro scaling...
yeah, he can't fucking pierce the European armor.
Yeah, I hate that, dude. But, you know, Sekiro scaling is weird, especially mid-tier scaling. Like, when it's middle of the game, he's a lot weaker than end-tier Sekiro. And he's so smart, too. He's able to just pick up on techniques while he's fighting somebody. I wonder if he would pick up on some of Sun Wukong's techniques, you know?
No, but the other vice versa is definitely a problem.
Yes.
I mean, obviously he doesn't have the prosthetic, but any sort of like skills that he uses, he could replicate.
Right. Well, I guess
Actually, that brings up another point. Do you think Sekiro, being a shinobi as sly as he is, do you think you'd be able to trick him in any sort of way to... Well, it's kind of weird because he can only be damaged by trickery of magical or divine.
Well, he could be damaged by people tricking him into a situation like a challenge, like Buddha did. Hey, if you could jump out of my hand, then you'll prove to be stronger than me.
But not as far as like misdirection, the way that a shinobi would.
I don't know. I don't think so, because he fought, 600 gods. I imagine one of them was the god of trickery. And some of them did get him in bad situations. Like he did get sealed in the immortal burning furnace, but it's kind of implied. He was never damaged. Yeah, he wasn't damaged, and it's kind of implied that he let it happen too. But
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. All of it's just crazy to think about. I would say it goes to Sun Wukong's 10 out of 0. Like, it just always goes to him.
Yeah, I mean, even if you want to, like, say early Wukong before, like, Book of Life and Death and before Samsora, like, even then, it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because he got in trouble for washing up the Pantheon. So, it kind of... He was doing that before
it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, he didn't, like, wash up the Pantheon after he, achieved Samsara. I think it was after he erased his life from the Book of Death, though. So... But, you know, it's just... It is how it is. I think Sekiro, knowing Sun Wukong, might let him kill one of his clones or something. But that's probably about it. And that's even a big stretch, because Sun Wukong loves to flex. So he'd probably just copy Sekiro and make Sekiro fight himself for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, even if, like, Wukong would have to, like, wipe out the planet or something for Sekiro to die. Though, I mean, that'd be, like, really the only thing. Like, Sekiro just comes back over and over again until he steals the life force from every living being on the planet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it wouldn't be fun. I think eventually he'd get annoyed.
Or you just fucking, like, jump across the existence with Sekiro in hand and just fucking drop him in the middle of some galaxy.
Well, he's got immeasurable speed, so he could probably just, you know, jump back over to wherever Sun Wukong is.
Sekiro?
Yeah.
Well, he's... I mean, he can't breathe in space, I don't think. I mean...
Well, you could just close his mouth and jump over to wherever he's got to go, and then he's just back in an oxygenated area.
I think his body would just implode on repeat.
I doubt it. His durability is insane.
That's fair, but I don't think durability handles shit like that, you know? Like,
handles your body? Yeah, I think it would. It's the same reason why Viltrumites don't die in space.
Alright, so be it. I won't argue on that.
I'm just saying, I don't think BFR is a good argument here. I think it's just like, until all of life is gone, they're going to have to keep fighting. And I don't think that's a big deal for Sun Wukong. He would love that.
Did you just rip out?
No, that was my stupid chair.
Nah, I heard that shit.
Here, I'll do it again. See?
Yeah, you just ripped ass again. The fuck?
Does that prove it?
Alright, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Alright. Let me know how you guys enjoyed the intro. That was all Kyle. So shout out to Kyle for recording that and editing it.
Don't roast too hard. It was my first one.
Yeah, don't go too hard on him, guys. He's been on his period today, if you couldn't tell.